We are red. Red is on.
Okay, good evening and welcome to the Thursday, June 21st, 2018 Selectmen's Meeting. I'll stand and say, pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, let's see. First thing we had on our agenda was from the town clerk tax collector for tax deeding, and that has been canceled because there are no properties that are up for tax deeding, which is a great thing. It's the first time in many years.
I think it's a first in all of my years. I don't think this has ever happened.
So that's good to know that everybody is up to date on their taxes, and it's really helpful to the town. The next thing on our agenda is at 5 p.m. We'll start a little early. Public Works Director. We're going to start with the Class 5 Winnisquam encroachments. Vince, how do you feel? What do you got?
I think if we were going to do that, we probably should have done it prior to, I'm sorry, prior to already putting the RFP out and doing getting all the work done, because you're not, now you're putting pressure on the company that we've already gave the job to, they have to go back and rechange all their whole schedule, which paving companies have their schedule out, you know what I mean? And there's a lot more work to it than just taking back the encroach. It's not like, poof, they're taking
It may
back.
renegotiate the whole job.
And it may renegotiate the whole job, not to mention, are the townspeople gonna be, how's that gonna,
We've had a public hearing and
They
gone
were-
over with them, and I think they realize it's inevitable.
It's not property.
it is town, no, and that being
Why
said,
would it have that kind of effect on an asphalt company? Because all we're asking them to do is asphalt those sections.
No, no,
right,
no,
but you're gonna
no.
excavate all that, that's
Yeah.
all, there's
Okay,
bushes and
so
shrubs and
If they can't do that.
Oh, they can.
Then we hire an excavator.
No, you can, but it's gonna,
it's gonna cost you.
We haven't even discussed if we're gonna have public works remove what they've put on our property.
but you're materially changing the whole project and adding a whole lot of other work that wasn't even
Not
thought of.
necessarily.
Just in-
Excavation.
We could have public works do the excavation.
And just in the mix alone, you're looking at it probably another 100, maybe not 100, probably 80, 90 ton, and I'm not measuring, it's just a,
Right, but that's just semantics. I mean, he's just gonna go over and measure up the extra space.
I think it's
And figure it out.
inevitable. We did decide we are going to take back the encroachments. The next step is, what can we do on those now?
right.
Um,
Oh, I'm not saying it can be done, I just think this was the wrong time to do it. I think we probably should have decided that back when we did
So
the,
we did,
right, and I understand that.
here we
What
are.
can we,
We
what-
call
what
up the
can we do?
contractor and we tell him what we're doing and have him go look at it. Let him tell us.
why don't we see what we can do?
Yeah, I will get with Chris, I will call Chris tomorrow, I'll have him meet me there and we'll go over it. But now, when you say take back the encroachments, are we talking everything? I mean, we're coming right,
Right to our property line.
because by rights, 2 inches of Winnisquam Market is on our property.
Yeah, but that's already asphalt.
Right, but
now
I
it's
mean,
concrete
I mean,
in the area.
Specific are the areas that are grown in with lawns.
lawns and whatnot. So by like the,
Movable signs,
are we talking by the old post office,
the
the
condominiums.
condominiums and right
All
down
the
through
way
the,
up.
Adrenaline.
To, yeah,
Motorsport.
adrenaline's coming out of there,
and,
all the
and,
way up to the Lobster Connection parking
Right,
lot
right,
there.
yeah.
So that section, all that, whatever's in there.
yeah, and I'm not saying that we can't do it, I'm just saying I think it was the wrong
He just needs to tar where there isn't any tar.
pavement.
Yes, and if you would like it to last more than a season, you need a proper sub-base.
Yeah, you do.
That's gonna require more work, and it's gonna be more on the hand side because it's small areas, which then drives your cost higher.
we're just gonna, I guess what's gonna have to happen is I'm gonna have to get with Chris and we're gonna have to see what the additional costs are gonna be.
You can't really put off the other part.
Right. Yeah, we can't let it go again.
And, yeah,
So you're gonna get with Chris?
I will
and
call
find-
Chris, yeah, and as soon as he can get over there and we can get over there and meet. What I would ask from you guys is an actual where and what we need to excavate, because that's gonna,
Just look at the survey.
Who has the
yeah,
survey?
who has the I don't have the survey.
Bruce says, but we have copies of it.
I bet I,
We all have copies of it.
Oh, yeah, they're gonna do well. You want mine? Get your microscope out.
I have this one done.
Yeah, that one might be a little better, yeah.
Joyce has the surveys.
I was gonna say, we don't have the plan size,
Yeah, we do.
24 by 36,
We do.
because
Tim Murray-
any of these copies, depending how you reproduced them, the scale goes.
No. I mean, you really only have two places where you have to remove. That's in front of the condominiums, and the other is in front of the,
Well, there's a, right here after the market, there's a sign
yep.
and posts
that's
and,
the second one, that's the sports one. So how much of that can Public Works do?
I can probably do it all, and try to do that project and keep up with everything else is gonna be,
The other thing is, when are they looking to do it?
Like the recruit?
after Labor
Oh,
Day.
After
Yeah.
Labor Day, yeah.
Yeah, but, so you want him
I can't do,
fixing that up before Labor Day?
yeah, the excavation work's gonna take,
It's just gonna be those couple of places.
Driving Franklin lately?
Yeah.
Go for it.
When are we gonna finish that?
the darn,
It's gonna be coming sooner or later, you gotta accept it.
You need to have the conversation with them.
As long as
So
you're
this-
respectful of what's
Talk
going
about it next
on
week.
let me talk with, yeah, let me
Look at it.
talk with the contractor and see what they think. I mean-
Obviously, the poles aren't
They-
to be
they-
removed.
The other problem you've run into is you've shortchanged the lobster connection on their side, the way they've set it up.
I think you're gonna get repercussion from the public on this for
We
sure.
did, we already had a public hearing.
Yeah.
Discussed it with them, and they're
They were
aware
all
of
set with it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
They've been,
Mark?
Mark, for this, they're a little concerned about the direction of the road and where it's gonna be, how long the parking's gonna last, and things like that.
Right, well,
They kind
in
of realize that it's not their problem.
the grand scheme of things, it's gonna make more parking for,
That's right.
Exactly.
but I mean, like Catherine said, it didn't, but this would have been something that we should have done prior to sending out an RFP on this job. Because this is, and regardless of what it said, this is gonna considerably raise the price of the job.
Maybe,
Oh, no,
maybe.
well, you figure
We'll find out.
the price of mix is, laid down machine method is, right now is probably $90 a ton. So do a hand method and now you're,
He's certainly not gonna charge us any more mobilization costs, because we've already done that.
No, I'm not- the mobilization isn't-
We're gonna have some increased costs for material.
Handwork is gonna be, what, 150 or
150,
200?
160,
I don't know
it
what
may
is.
even be,
I mean, the problem is, it is what it is, whether we had it done now, or
right.
we decided to do it last.
Well, right
fall.
now, we're speculating because we don't really
It's the
know, so let's get the
same
answer.
square
Yeah, take a
area.
look and see what
Yeah.
can be
We'll
done.
do that.
We know it's gonna increase in bid.
Well,
You have a
except
copy
for
for
if they
yourself,
had it
right?
in the fall, they would.
I do at the shop, yeah, no, I've got,
This
no,
is
I'm
what's
good.
blindsiding, because there's no real
Yeah, but if
excavation.
we have Public Works clear it out,
So-
we've just got a little bit of fine grading to do.
So, next week we'll find out.
Yep,
um, about the encroachments, what it will cost
The extra money.
who can do what. Yeah, the public hearing, they were, it was kind of surprising. I don't think we expected it to be that congenial about it.
Well, everybody's congenial until people start, until the excavation starts going on, and then they start going, oh, what happened?
There were people from the condominium association.
She hit the nail on the head
They
too.
had some concerns, but
Everyone was there for themselves.
everybody's really happy because there's going to be more parking.
Right.
And
But she was concerned because everyone was there for their own selves and their own benefit, for their own parking.
That's a fact.
Yep, and so we need to be concerned and we need to be very, you know,
You need to, you really need to
right.
approach this with a,
Yep. And I totally agree with that.
we should probably,
Okay, well, while you're here, can I bring up this email? I just got it, from Corey Carmichael,
Who's Corey Carmichael? Lady from the company.
the woman,
She's spoken.
Yeah.
I would like to follow up with regards to the public meeting held on May 24th, as well as the June 14th selectmen meeting. You had indicated we could email you and indicated you'll be discussing and making decisions over the next couple months regarding the Class 5 road in Winterswamp. The areas of concern for the condo association are trash pickup, mail delivery, and safely exiting parking lot, safely exiting parking lot with cars parked to the left that will obstruct view when turning right. Laura Johnson made a suggestion at the meeting to set parking limits when the issue regarding clarification of who can park where and for how long. When a 2-hour limit was mentioned, we raised concern when we had guests. I asked how will the establishments park their employees for their 8 to 10-hour shifts, as they use about 5 to 7 of the parking spaces each day. Someone suggested giving resident stickers as a solution. We are not requesting designated resident parking. The idea of this was proposed by someone else when brainstorming about a solution to parking issues. The establishment employees who park there all day, every day, will be way more impacted in this decision than we will for the few times a year we use an additional spaces for our guests. We are raising questions to trash pickup, mail delivery, and safety of exiting parking lot when the project is finalized. Dan Doyle also asked if curbing will be placed along the edge. Again, I know you're still working out the details, and I thank you for your hard work.
Can you forward that to us?
I guess I can.
yeah, she brought a lot of those things up. I'm looking at the notes. And that was one thing, so this is where they would put their trash cans.
Curbing, just so you guys know, is expensive.
Like, or even, what they didn't want is people driving and
Right.
hitting their fence. Or,
Obviously, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know.
But we also was brought up that every condo has 3 parking spaces within the condo associations, 2 for 2 vehicles and a,
I have one, but thank you.
Did you talk
Visitor.
about it?
Not yet.
so they're assigned 3 parking spaces within the condo confines of their lot.
Like I said, let's not make any decisions, Brad, until we know what the dollar numbers are gonna be and what's gonna be.
And how many spaces we're gonna end up once we clear that out.
I,
We don't know. Because some have to be angled and some don't.
well, it's all gonna depend on the layout of the parking
Right.
spaces. And then you still have to have the room for the throughway to be there, and then, I mean, it's gonna give us more room, so we got the throughway now, but how far you can
Well,
get,
That's the other thing we talked about too. Did we already, I have a really bad headache, so if I repeat myself, I don't know why. Did we already talk to Brock about the decision when, one of the things that were brought up with, Winnisquam Marine about coming into that area, with this trailer?
Brock already solved that.
yeah, I already fixed that.
Yeah. They didn't want that changed.
Right, they just,
They didn't-
That
they want to
was
make
2
sure it stays
spaces.
like that.
Didn't we talk about the 2 spaces?
Yeah.
We already talked about it.
yeah, I crossed those out so they can come in and go out.
Okay,
And if we change it to one way, it will have to turn one way from the middle entrance.
One way or 2 ways.
Well, it's two-way from coming in at the Winnisquam Marine end, because they come in with their trailers and go out. But from the center entrance, if we're gonna change it to one-way, we'll just change it one-way there, so you can't go back towards Winnisquam, but you can go, you see what I'm saying?
I would set it halfway down the island,
Well, that's exactly what it is,
so
yeah.
that coming out of the garage, they clear.
They can, if they come out of Winnisquam, he can turn and go out, but nobody can come in, you can come in there, but you can only go to the left, you can't go to the right.
Forgot to get it
But
out.
he can go out to the right. That way, he can turn his boats in, right in front of his building, come in, and go down, and then go out either direction. You just can't go back that way.
He could go towards.
Towards the market, right, yes.
Because if we were to make it so that it was two-way, you wouldn't be able to have angled parking, so the cars would stick out further.
Right.
And cars can get in, but if they're all angled so that heading towards.
One way is gonna give us more parking.
Yeah,
Right.
and
That's
And
what
the
wider,
chief
wider
said something
space.
about somebody wanting to make it two-way up to a certain point,
Yeah.
and he said you couldn't because they can't cross over that median.
You can't get over the median, right, it's not, that doesn't,
Right,
Anyway,
right, you can't do it.
so,
I think that was the middle
there
one.
really
But you
aren't
could,
gonna
I
be-
mean,
There really aren't gonna be that many changes to what is existing now, except there will probably be a couple more parking spaces.
well, the Winnisquam end, though, you can pull out of right now, there's no median there. On the end
The
where,
marina end,
the,
the
no,
far marina end you can pull out.
right, and that's what I'm talking about. You can make it so
And then
you can go in and out there, but you make it one way.
That's happening today.
Right, exactly.
That's what I mean,
Yeah.
not much is gonna change.
It's
from
not
what's
gonna
happening
change,
today.
right, exactly.
And the majority of them seem to be pleased with what.
It
they-
does, yeah, it's been pretty well, it's been working pretty well, I think.
I think it's pretty simple, it will come to a really good resolution.
Yeah, I think so. My thing is what it's gonna cost.
Right.
So what else we got going on?
Looks like we have non-public.
Okay, is there,
What about this is the, job thing I'd like to put in the paper that me and Joyce did this afternoon.
Oh,
I think you all have a copy of it.
So you decided which one you wanted?
Yeah.
Oh, foreman.
Well, we have the labor, it's not,
Well, last week we said it's up to you, so I didn't know which one you wanted.
one question, CDLB with automatic transmission or?
no, they have to be able to drive a manual, that will be,
So
I
we
think-
should put that on.
I think we really need to put that
I
one,
think you're
put
absolutely
that on,
right.
because that's very deceiving.
I did add it, I just didn't, yeah, I'm sorry,
You added it, I left it
That's
out,
okay.
sorry, I didn't
that's fine.
know.
That will be in the ad.
Okay.
There is, yeah.
We're
no.
gonna say CDLB with automatic transmission.
No, without, you have to, you
It's a
can't have a
restriction.
manual restriction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, you have to be able to,
Yeah.
With no manual
yeah,
restriction.
we don't wanna go through.
Is that what they call it? No manual?
No manual.
Yeah, it's an automatic restriction, which means you can only drive a truck with an automatic transmission.
So you
No,
word,
no shit.
Be work for Pike or.
John,
So all those guys,
John,
every
you
one of
were
them are going to
talking.
automatics because
You were
nobody can drive
talking,
anymore.
John, and
Yeah.
now you've got 4 people talking.
yeah, the question is exactly how should it be worded with,
Right.
with no manual restriction?
It needs to be worded that the driver has to be, and figure out how you will, they need to be able to drive a manual transmission. You cannot just have an automatic,
Okay, so they
Restriction on
need
your
a
license.
CDLB with,
You screen it out through the application.
Through the
Worst
application,
case.
yeah.
hang on, please, can we just get it straight now so that the people that apply will have what they need? And that would be, must have certification to drive manual.
right.
It says possession of New Hampshire valid, New Hampshire driver's license and CDLB, no manual restriction, and with air brakes required.
Do they call it
There it
manual
is.
restriction?
Yeah.
So we have a good,
Which means if you have that thing on your license, you can't drive a manual transmission.
Right, because
manual restriction, okay.
you, on this license, it says the auto trains, which means I cannot drive a manual. So
Yes.
they have to have it on theirs manual.
So when and where do we want to run this? Ed?
I think we put it in the New Hampshire Municipal, probably the local paper, and then through New Hampshire T-Squared.
Which local paper?
I would say the Sun, I would
So you
look on
want
the
it
Sun and,
daily?
Where do we
Yeah.
usually post it?
I usually do the Sun and one issue in the Winnisquam Echo, and also you can publish it in their Lakes Region papers. The Winnisquam Echo, it's not just the Winnisquam Echo, it's got
Meredith.
Meredith and all that.
Salmon
And the-
Press.
Salmon Press, thank you, and they put it online as well.
Okay, and you want, and Joyce can take care of that?
Yeah.
Dale, and you want to add also municipal? What was it?
New Hampshire Municipal Association.
And there's a thing through T-Square?
Yeah, there's, Joyce knows about there's a setup that goes through T-Squared where all the whole state looks at it and can see what's out there for jobs that are available.
This advertisement,
Timeline?
Um,
this advertisement is very heavy on winter. Doesn't say anything about mowing or what you might do in the summer.
Well, I mean, it kind of comes with the job. I
didn't
I
know.
wanted to cover the winter aspect because that's where everybody goes, oh my God, I got to plow? You know, yeah, absolutely.
Well, it sounds like, for me, it sounds like that's all the guys really gonna be hired for is driving the dump truck.
No,
We
because,
have a copy of the job description.
yeah, we have the copy of the job description and there was a couple, do you have that paper that I gave you?
You want me to put foreman, truck driver, laborer?
No,
Can we
no,
s-
there's no such, that's.
If you just put if you just put here that the job description is on tiltonnh.org, then,
Right.
then they can look at the, and then you've got the whole round with everything.
Some of those truck drivers, sometimes only
I
gonna.
agree with you.
Yeah, you're right, but that will be up to me to screen, I can,
Right.
It's right on here, yeah, it says applications and job description are available in Selectman's office and Tilton www.nh.org. All further information?
tell me.
There you go.
If you notice foreman's first, so most
Right.
people would say that's the dominant
That's the dominant, right.
of the activities.
And usually if you're hiring a foreman, they have all that stuff already anyway. So,
Do we
well,
have
they won't come if
a
they.
timeline for when we want to try and get somebody in here by? Start interviewing?
I'd like to do it, I mean, we'll do it as soon as possible, but I definitely need somebody before. I'd like to have them here before the end of September so we can start getting them used to what's going on.
I think John is
August.
trying to nail down a time because we always have resumes that come in after the fact and then we say.
Oh, I got you, like a
there's
closing
one
date? Yeah, yeah. I think no later than probably,
August 15th?
yeah,
Oh,
To-
For
July.
applications?
oh, July, yeah, July.
August 1st?
Maybe
July,
July 5th.
July 15th. I want it early.
15th or something like that, yeah.
Yeah. gives us-
That's 3 weeks.
Because of the holiday and the paper we got in the mail today, the next couple of weeks are gonna be, as far as posting something, we have to get so many, that's what, if you want, we have to get this in next week.
Well, we'll talk when we go into non-public anyway, about a couple other things.
Okay.
If you want to
So
put it
July
on the
26th.
I would,
What is it?
I would say Thursday, July 26th. That way you've got time to get it and then.
I like that,
and
yeah,
then-
I'm good with that.
Then you
Very good
can,
with
you've got a
that.
whole
I'd like
week.
the 19th.
19th's fine with that, and then you've got a couple weeks.
As
to-
long as,
to-
yeah, we just gotta get some, yeah, right, we need to fill it.
You and Joyce got a couple weeks to divvy it all up and then bring the best to us,
Yep, that's fine.
right?
If you do it tomorrow,
All set?
anything
Get that.
more.
Anything else for public?
I have one. West Main Street,
That's Main Street.
at the accident site.
Yes.
We have a row of trees. I think 2 are dead. The other 3 are in various states of decay. Who should we have look at it? Public Works, Parks, and have either Paul Rushlow or Chippers? So I'm just throwing it out on the table. I just happened to notice it the other day.
At the accident site?
Yeah, that on that Esplanade area, there's about 5 or 6 maples in there.
One of
One's
them's,
on this
one of them's
end.
missing now.
Okay.
I took another one out.
Yeah, the
Yeah, he
truck.
ran it right over.
He brought it with him.
He
in
took
the
it with
truck.
him.
Downstream.
It's giving trout a place to
It's
hide.
being hydrated.
Jersey barriers.
I will, yeah, we're there now. It's also been brought to my attention, and by all rights, that the safety issue that's going on down there with the railing not being there, and just having a little bit of snow fence there, wouldn't keep somebody out if something happened, or if, God forbid, somebody else came in.
Do we have any Jersey barriers?
Well, that's what I'm talking, I called the state and asked them if we could borrow some of their Jersey barriers, and they said, yes, that would be fine, but they don't have the equipment to load it, or the trailer to haul it, so we'll have to use our loader and our stuff to load it and put it on there. Their backhoe won't pick the Jersey barriers up. They have a backhoe over there, and in order for them to get a loader or something, they have to bring it from another, because they all share
It's in
it.
Franklin or Belmont?
No, Belmont. Right up on 140.
Yeah.
They got them out there. So we've got the trailer, we've got the machine. We'll just go down there with the truck and trailer, load them on, bring them down here and unload them.
If we do that,
And we accepting responsibility is what I'm,
No, it's a safety issue.
but Jersey barriers, I'm just throwing this out, I'm just brainstorming here, and I'm not necessarily. Are there only a certain height? Are people going to give a false sense of security and still fish?
You run a snow fence, you run some
them on the
delineator
outside of the
posts,
snow
some
fence.
delineator posts up and run them on the bottom of, or the top end of the barrier higher, so they have to go.
where the snow fence is too, we won't take the snow fence down. We'll just line the outside of the snow fence with it. So that way the snow fence is 3 feet over the top of it. I mean, if you go in there and you jump over a 3-foot snow fence and a Jersey barrier, well then,
We should also sign it. whether it's
yeah,
no trespassing.
and there's signs on there right now that say that everything's closed and,
Are they back in place because they got set
yeah, no,
aside?
they're back in place, yep.
Between Jersey barriers and snow fence, it's a lot better than what we had before for
Correct.
safety. We only
And-
had 2 thin pipes, so.
Right, and I can tell you right now, if them Jersey barriers would have been there, that truck wouldn't have been in the river, but he'd have been sore.
Sounds good.
Swear.
I'm okay with that. Everybody else?
I think it's a good idea, I think, Brock.
See what you can do.
And
What
also-
we're going to do about,
Can I just,
impressing upon the fact that it is not our law.
well, right, now, can I finish this part, talking about this? I spoke with our insurance company, and I said, well, there may be an issue because the town says it's the state's responsibility and the state says it's the town's responsibility. She said, it doesn't matter. If this is a hazard, this is a hazard. She strongly recommended, this is Primex, that it's, we own it in the sense that we're aware that there's this hazard here.
Right.
And we better
Get it
put
fixed.
something up quick,
Right,
okay?
As far as the safety issue?
As safety issue.
Okay.
which is what I'm addressing with.
Right,
Right.
and that's all I'm addressing. She also suggested that, what does it matter if the town files an insurance claim? So we can go ahead and file an insurance claim for the labor and material. Let me finish. I'm telling you what
You go
the,
ahead, but I'm still.
okay,
saying
that's
no.
fine, but let me finish what I'm saying.
Just shaking my head.
Said it wouldn't hurt to go ahead and file an insurance claim because anything that we do would be reimbursable. And then in talking with Brock, we thought maybe it'd be a good idea just to have someone go out there and look at it, just to see what it might give us a cost, just to see what it would be to pull the blocks up and reinstall the fence.
You wanna go first?
If the Winnisquam Bridge collapsed into the lake, would we file a claim on it?
No.
Why not? Because it's not our property, it's not our bridge, it's not our law. It may be in our town, but it's not our law. We didn't build it. It doesn't hold anything of ours up. So why would we file a claim on something that does not belong to us?
Because we are putting up barriers and expending town labor for a safety hazard.
So we go after
Our-
True Green.
Yes, that's what
Right.
I'm saying. We
That's-
file a claim with True Green
Just
because,
for our labor to put up these barriers?
well, because our sidewalk there was damaged and put up the barriers.
The dirt was damaged?
Well, they crossed over town
That's a
property.
big rut, you know the rut that's there?
And we do maintain that rail, because I know I've seen our highway guys scraping and painting it.
So, unless we get DOT or DES, whoever's gonna claim responsibility for the wall, to file a claim as well, is the insurance gonna think, because we're only filing a claim for the rail, some labor, some Jersey barriers and some dirt, and it sounds like a tree, but that's it?
And more claims to follow.
Is that it?
Open up a case file, more claims to follow.
I
We'll
think
send someone
before
out to
we
look
rush
at it.
filing the claim, when we have a conversation with DOT and DES, the state of New Hampshire, I mean, let's get Chris Sununu in here, we have to be ready. But let's get an agreement with them and hash this out. I'm not ready to file a claim on something that isn't.
The issue isn't who's gonna pay for it or whatnot, because whoever pays for it is going to get the money back. It's an insurance. It's definitely insurance. The problem is right now it's unsafe and somebody's gonna get hurt.
And we need
So
to,
we need to secure it. That's the issue right now.
We established
That is
that.
not-
So we've established that,
right, but I
think
want
that
to,
we've already established that we're gonna
Right.
take, that we're in agreement that we would temporarily take care of the hazard because we're aware of the hazard. But
exactly.
if we go ahead and file a claim, we have to be very, 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 very careful, because if you remember, just a few thousand feet up the road, we have a whole wall collapsing along with a guardrail and everything else. If we say down there that, oh, well, the truck went in and now we can go ahead and claim that, and they assume that we're gonna take ownership of the wall that holds up the river and the road, they're gonna say that we own up here as well. It's setting a precedent. And I don't wanna get in the middle of the argument that we're gonna have with the state on ownership of up here, because that's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars up here.
And who said the rail is ours?
That makes a
because I know we've maintained it.
I think we're going
Not
back.
ours. Who put
I
it
think,
up?
what we're doing is all we're gonna do is put the Jersey barriers in
That's
and secure it for now. If we keep track of the time, the
Yep,
mileage,
I can do
the
that.
equipment usage and all that, and send a bill to True Green for, demanding it, and say, please forward to your insurance company immediately
That's a good idea.
to avoid further action.
No,
And
that's
at that
filing,
point-
that's filing a claim.
At that point, we're notifying the person who damaged it that we had to do some emergency things. If your house has a tree that falls through it and causes damage, your insurance company allows you to go and make quick repairs up, and they don't.
Right, you
they
can
don't-
apply with
you
the
don't-
roof or do something like that, whatever. it
That's
takes.
what we're doing, emergency repairs, send it to True Green, they are responsible for, or whoever is the insurance company. that's
Well,
repaying.
that being said, I'll let you guys hash that out
Yes.
as far as the insurance end of it. I'm gonna make it safe,
Would
and that's
this,
gonna be my job.
Yep.
would this be an opportunity?
Don't worry about the rest.
Yeah.
Would this be an opportunity to probably tap into some expertise like John Radigan on this issue?
And we have a conversation with DOT first. I mean, it's pretty, here's the thing, that wall was there long before there was ever any sidewalk. The rail must have gone up with wall in it. It wouldn't necessarily have gone up with the sidewalk in it. We may have been maintaining it, but we didn't put it in. But we also know, if we don't maintain it, they're not going to, and it's gonna be unsafe, so we have to. The wall, on the other hand, is a whole different story.
And the wall is,
Wall to treatment side.
the wall is missing stone,
Oh, yeah.
so that would have to take an engineer to put that back.
And permits, getting
Figure that
permits.
Permits and everything else, it's gonna,
Like ski out as much as possible.
So we should have that conversation with them as soon as possible.
Keep in mind, we list everything that.
So what happened on Manville Road?
We'll wait for Brock to come back. He didn't leave, he just went to the... Right, so I have not filed anything with True Green, but I am waiting for a police report.
Pictures.
We've got a guy driving through the Soldiers Home, another guy through the park, we had a garbage truck in the center of town, did a telephone pole, now we got a guy driving over the
It was an interesting week.
This has been,
Catherine's question was what happened on Manville Road.
We'll talk about that in non-public too.
Okay.
How come? How come?
reputation.
Reputation.
Are we naming any specific
Yeah, we have to be
individual?
specific on who, I thought it was a what?
Well, I guess we don't have to, but there's a lot of people involved.
They have a little copy.
The email was hard to,
Have a
yeah,
copy of the action report and the email.
yeah, that was hard to follow.
What? The email?
I think,
The main claim, do you know Kirk Young,
Yeah.
music on Cedar?
Yeah,
The tractor trailers, if they go up there, always rip down his cable.
yeah.
One time he's out there taking pictures and all the driver's just laughing, he's there, it's not my problem. The utility has to have it a certain height because of tractor trailers. If it drops below it, it's not the driver's fault.
That's right.
14 feet or
It's
something.
gonna be, well, the maximum height for a truck is 13.6, so.
So,
Well, let's just say that there's additional information that I need to send to the police department that they need to put in their police report.
So,
I can tell you exactly what happened.
was the line that was taken down by the truck,
Mhm.
did it fall, or has it always been that low?
No, and I'm gonna explain that to you right now. That I got a call Wednesday from,
can I just say one thing, just to determine whether or not this is going to be public or non-public? I want to just throw this out there. This is stuff, we're going to be making some statements of opinions
I
of
think it should
different,
be in non-public. myself,
opinions
but
of
I don't-
different things that could go into a public record, and
Correct.
be misconstrued,
Yes.
or used as facts when they are not
Absolutely.
actually
Right.
facts.
Absolutely.
They're just our observations
That's
only.
correct.
So if we want to go in
Hearsay.
public, hearsay in that is what we're saying, it's not
I
official.
think
So
non-public
if
is a
we
good
want to
idea.
go and publicly say what happened,
So we're
What's
gonna go
going
into
on?
great detail, so what you're saying is, if we're gonna go into great detail, we need to go into non-public. If
Correct.
we're gonna just talk in general terms, and a truck came through and the wire was low and it took it down and blah, 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 then we can do it in public.
Which
But-
is,
Well,
We went to great
wonderful.
detail.
Can they read the police report? That's a, that
No,
was your.
let's just go
Yeah, but
into
there's-
non-public
yeah,
I think
and
most of the
move on.
non-public as it pertains to. Go ahead.
Make a motion, we go into non-public as per RSA 91A:3, that which discussed in public would adversely affect the reputation.
Second.
we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Dawson, yes.
Constantino, yes.
Scanlon, yes.
Fogg, no. Sorry, Catherine.
Motion,
I just want to know, I thought we could do this in pretty general terms.
We're red is on. 6:15, John.
I'll get the
sorry.
sign.
Like, no, Brock
He-
did.
he
Brock did.
I gave you the thing for the public hearing.
So,
I'd like to make a motion to seal the minutes of non-public session as it pertains to employee evaluations permanently. As it pertains to the first half of the conversation, that should not be sealed, that should be released immediately.
Thank you. Second. Aye.
Aye.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None, so moved. Okay, so. We're going to open a public hearing pursuant to RSA 3195H to receive public comment on authorization to make payments for the 2018 police cruiser from the Police Special Detail Fund. And be noticed that there's nobody here presently. It's 6:20. So we'll go on with the rest of the other business. Also on the agenda. probably have a little bit of discussion on it right before we close. If there's any necessary,
Tim has a,
if anybody has any questions. So, employee reviews, have we worked out the schedule for next week? So
Yes.
next,
But I'm the holdup, because even though I have spoken with Tim on a number of occasions about his, and I have not spoken with the chief, because he's been on vacation. I have spoken with Dari about his. I haven't written Dari's or Tim's. I'm in the middle of, I'll be finishing Brock's. I did go over with him verbally what I was putting in. And I could probably finish that up tonight so that they'll have that for next week. And I did Gail and Heather and spoke with them both about theirs, and they have signed theirs.
so we're just,
But I'm the,
Heather and Gail next week.
and Sheena with Dari, and then to do with the police. And I did ask Dari and Tim, I haven't spoken to the chief, and Brock, I said, would you mind if they were done, because see, I'm gone next week, I'm on vacation. I'll be back Friday, but that's after your meeting. I mean, Brock's, I feel comfortable finishing tonight, so you can have that. And we've gone over it, but the others, I want them to, because I will still have some questions to ask them while I'm writing it.
so why don't we do the PDs next week? And then I'm meeting PDs then.
Do both.
Sorry, and do the rest of the week after.
Yeah.
Do both non-union and union.
in the,
Still have
just
to-
to review.
We'll have
that
the PARs next week for the meeting as well.
Well, we should get the union ones.
And
before meeting.
and the PARs for the other people that are done.
I'm just saying, we really want to sit here and read all those reviews in a selectmen's meeting, and there's no decision for us to make. You can have a discussion you want on, we're not going to change them. We can express, glad that.
We could have them available if they're, you know, the personnel file that we're allowed to review.
I'm just
You know, if anybody wants to come in, take a look,
It
but,
should be downstairs.
but, you know, I don't think you need to make copy. You want to make copies of them for the meeting for us to look at?
They should be available for us to come in and,
Yeah, they're available.
all right,
Peruse.
peruse through them before the meeting,
The non-union, I mean, the unions.
the union ones,
Yes.
Anything ready.
so it doesn't take up time during the meeting.
And who reviews the chief?
I'm writing it, and that's the one that's going to be.
And when could you take a look at whoever, if you're doing reviews of anybody, and they're writing up reviews of their subordinates, can you take a look at their reviews and see if they're doing their forms right? So if the chief is reviewing, writing a review form on another employee,
Well, the chief just does Ryan. So it would just be Ryan's that he would be reviewing. And then Ryan does Nate. And Nate does the corporals.
Doesn't the chief do Jesse?
Did we ever get his from the last time? Remember?
Just been in January.
Yeah, I think he's on a January. Did you get that?
But he does do Jesse, it's the chief and
Yeah.
the captain that does Jesse.
Yes, but let me look and see, because I think we just had one done in January.
Right, it's January, it's the beginning of the calendar year you do this.
And I thought maybe Morrison had something to direct to.
And that's just the chief.
that's all set, so we'll be doing those, you know, what we're doing next week, and then the following week would be the town hall employees.
Well, the rest of your department heads.
We also have a 15-year recognition next week for, but I'm not sure what time, probably, but right at 5.
Okay.
Kim wants to be on the agenda next week, and we just said Rob for the approach, so we've done the recognitions, Tim, Rob, and emails that I think.
And Dari.
Start very early, possible.
Dari.
Yeah, so we'll do the recognition, then we'll do Dolly, and then we'll do the rest.
Yeah.
That way, although, I mean, the recognition's only gonna take not even.
And then the following week, we just finish up
Finish up the
everything.
e-warrants, yes.
Well, that'll be a first.
Good.
Oh. That's July 5th.
The following week,
Yeah.
it still goes with the payroll. So when are you including in Cindy on, which one are you including Cindy on? Next week or the week after? You gotta let her know.
Oh, she should be next week.
Cindy said she's gonna have hers done on the weekend.
So you need to let her know which one she's coming in on next week or the week after.
On the 28th.
You need to let her know that, yeah.
So Darrell and Cindy on the 28th.
Well, I'll be back for the meeting on the 5th.
Either one, it doesn't matter to me. You just need to let Cindy know, let her know ahead of time, so she can make sure that she's here that day.
And the week after that is the 12th,
No, next week's the 28th, you're not here.
yeah.
And then the 5th,
and then the 5th, which I'll be here for.
correct. And then the 12th.
But by the time I'm back from the 5th, I still wouldn't have done the chief.
But don't forget the week of the 9th, we're gonna start interviewing. for
I'm going to
May.
start interviewing the week of the 9th.
So we have to have these done by the 5th. So next week's gonna be a long week.
So you want Gail to do the chief?
Gail to do the chief?
Sure.
Do you want to do the chief?
I've done the chief like 6 or 7 times in my tenure here. I think somebody else's turn.
Just made it for breakfast tomorrow morning, did you?
No, we haven't.
He's not, he's not, he's away. And
He's
I'm-
on vacation all week.
Besides, she's leaving at noon tomorrow, so.
Well, can we push it
Well,
off for
whatever
that,
you're gonna
the
do.
ninth?
Whatever you're gonna do, do it. And if
Yeah.
it doesn't work out, he'll just be later.
I mean, they would.
Invite him to Maine, he'll go to Maine.
Well, no, we'd rather, I want to
It just
be
will
more thorough. I don't want to just whip them
It'll be
out.
later. I mean, sometimes we were doing this in September.
We'll do the chief on the 12th.
Yeah.
When you get back, and we'll just,
If it's just one, we can just wait. No worries.
Next.
all right, next.
Next is, it is finalize hiring policy.
Make a motion, we accept the hiring policy as written.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the finalized hiring policy. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Does the director no show that I said
Oh.
no?
I didn't hear the number.
No corrections in it.
Nope.
Well, she has it,
It doesn't?
Nope.
Where are all your
Well,
corrections?
I can highlight them.
No, they're not in there. That's okay.
They are, Catherine.
They are not. I just read through it. I'm sorry, it is not.
Why didn't you say something during
Everything
discussion?
that's in there
It's not in here.
Which one?
either was already in there.
No,
I
it isn't.
added what you,
I just read it. It
the first
isn't.
page on red.
Can I vote no if I want to?
Yes, you can. If you miss something, you
Okay.
need to know, so
So-
we can.
You got 3 votes. That's the majority. I voted no. They like it, it's fine. Look, Ralph.
Okay, so next thing we have is selectmen's reports.
Doesn't Joyce get
Wait a minute.
her report?
I just have a few quick things.
Motions.
You have more. Joyce,
Now that my motions go.
The moving schedule, I wanted to run this by you. We talked about it at staff meeting, and I spoke with the mover, and I spoke with the scheduler for the carpeting. The mover is available only on certain dates. And I need to have them come 3 times. And then, so this is what I have planned based upon the dates they gave me. The carpet tiler guy wanted to start Monday, August 6th, and that won't be possible because the movers are only they're not available they're only available Monday and Tuesday. The following week, they're available Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. And then all of the week of the 20th. However, I need to be able to accommodate Cindy, and she said she'd be willing to close Yeah, it would be easier for her to close on the Friday, the 17th. That's it. Cindy can't close that first week, but she could do that Friday. So she could close her office. Movers will come in, move all of her furniture to one side of the meeting room. Okay? Depending upon how long that takes them to do that moving, I'm hoping that they'll be able to start moving all of our other office furniture into the other half of the meeting room. If we find that there is not sufficient space for everything, a suggestion was made that we rent a My Box, and for the weekend, park it in the 2 spaces there, because it'll be so much easier to move file cabinet. So move file cabinet, the stuff from like this end of the office, just move in the My Box, and then the things from the copy room, assessing room, into the meeting room, and Cindy's stuff in the meeting room. See how much they can get done. Then on Saturday, the carpet tilers will be in, and they'll do Cindy's office. Okay? If they had time, they initially wanted to do the hallways first. And what I'm going to try and convince them, what I sent to them, I said, I'm proposing them, meaning the tilers. I'm proposing the following scenario. The movers arrive on Friday the 17th as the office will be closed, and move out the town clerk's office furniture and as much of the other office's furniture as possible into the meeting room. Worst case scenario, if the meeting room can't hold everything, then we would see about renting a My Box and set it up outside the 2 parking spaces. The Tom, there's 2 Toms, but the scheduler Tom said he would tile the town clerk's office on Saturday, which would be the 18th. And I don't know if he was planning on being there a full day. If not, he could start tiling the offices. On Monday the 20th, the town clerk's office will still be closed, so the moving company would be able to move the town clerk's furniture back into her newly carpeted office. Then as they have time, if they have time on that Monday, they want to do the hallways first, but I think I'd rather, if you wouldn't object, that we just leave the bare floor in the hallways. Let them go ahead and rip up the hallway padding and stuff and do their floor preparation. But wait and put that down last, because we're going to be dragging,
Good point,
you know, it's going to be unsightly.
good point.
I don't know. I mean, we can live with that. Either way, if they're going to do a hallway first, then they should do Cindy's once they get her stuff back in. Okay, so again, Cindy's office would be completely closed on Friday the 15th and on Monday the 20th. Maybe just in the morning, I don't know. If I can get them to see how long, but it's fair to say she could be closed for 2 days. The rest of us can work. We can work up here. We can get around. Let's.
Who's gonna put all the computer things back together again and take them apart and all that?
I'm recommending that each office, if they feel competent, to be able to unplug their computers and wrap the cords, put a little thing on it, which one goes to your scanner, which one goes to your printer. Most things are all wireless. We're almost truly wireless. And that they move it themselves, and that we get sheets and plastic and things. I would like to see them moved up here, and we'll cover them. And each person should be responsible for their own. Now, in Cindy's office, she's got all that state equipment. So if she doesn't feel competent in unplugging things to make sure they go back the right way, I think she should very nicely ask Tim. The movers can move it.
Everything else is on the counter, all they have to do is sit on the counter.
The stuff on the counter,
And
that's
that one-
correct.
That one little one, so they just move that on the counter
Okay.
and cover it.
The one from the Vital Records
There's
one.
only 2, there's Kim's,
Yeah,
there's Cindy's.
And then the
the Vital
state.
Records,
And they
yeah.
put those on the
Yeah, I
counter.
don't think it would.
The Vital Record one in the corner.
Yeah, and they have printers. They can just
all on the counter.
And if, yeah, and then if they want, and then we'll just cover them on the counter.
Are they moving Cindy's safes around?
I have to talk with them about that. The movers are moving the safes, yes.
Do you suppose they could move the little one outside?
What we can coordinate with Brock is, remember he said that he thought he could get that out the front door if the loader could come in right at the right height so they could just slide it in
Slide it into the bucket?
and just take it down to Highway Garage and we could sell it from there.
Scrap it.
He felt confident that he could do it without taking any measurements, but they can remeasure and see, but I'd have to make sure that Brock can come get it.
It's a good idea.
Okay, and this is, I know that Tom wanted to do the hallways first, however, I have to get all the rest of the offices tiled before the 23rd, because that is the final day the movers will be coming back to move furniture back into our offices. So it's 2 days to do the other offices. Then this gives you the entire week around the movers, and we would only have to close the town clerk's office for 2 days. The rest of us can work upstairs while their offices are being tiled. I think the meeting room and the hallways should be tiled last. That's just my opinion. Would that be a problem, leaving the floors bare for a few days? I don't know. Please let me know what you think. I have to run this all by my selectmen this evening at their meeting. So I'm supposed to call them back tomorrow to let them know.
I think, Joyce, that you are great at the logistics of it, and whatever you can figure out, I do not want to give you any input because you.
Well, my feeling
I
is,
think she's got it covered good.
well, no, the number one is Cindy,
Confident to do it.
working around that. So getting her done first, and then I've got the whole next week to get because say they don't finish Heather's office, or they don't finish the meeting room yet, or whatever, at least that's not going to interrupt our offices because we'll already be back in our offices. And we can still continue to serve the public. Important thing was getting
I
Cindy.
think you've got it done.
Okay.
I'm certain that.
I sure hope so. We already did Manville Road, and I think that was really, I did do something else this week. What was it? Oh, getting an estimate for Academy Street. Brock and Academy Street, the retaining wall. Yeah, and Brock and I have had conversations back and forth, and I told him what I would feel more comfortable with. I spoke with Novus Engineering, and they would be willing to come out and take a look at it. Just kind of tell us what they think and give us ideas so that I can do an RFP.
Very nice.
So I'll have him come out. And I still haven't written the letter to the state yet, but that bill's not due until it's past June 16th, it's June 21st. And also I spoke with Novus because they have a whole groundwater monitoring. Yeah. And I told him what was going on with our salmon run. He said, fine. He says, just send me the information. He says, I'll give you an estimate on what we think that it would cost. So, and I'll find out from the state what they're proposing, relay that information to Novus, and then they can help us craft a reply. And then, did you get your copy of this in your folder? Okay, so I'll do that. And, oh, okay, and then if you recall, about a month ago, we talked about the repairs that are needed to fix the Grange building. So we did get our estimate. I did remove this because the highway guys already fixed the handrail. And then I did talk with him about doing fixing the foundation cracks and things. And he said that he's going to be down underneath the kitchen anyway. And when he's in there, he'll be able to see where the cracks are. He'll have all the materials. It'll be just as easy for him to go around the front and do the front. So the estimate for lifting the kitchen floor to remove most of the sag, he lists all the materials. We already removed the handrails, and did they repaint for you yet? Is highway planning on repainting it? We can get paint to figure it out. He's going to scrape and paint the foundation's woodwork. He's going to fill foundation cracks in the granite, stone, and cement as needed. Adjust a closet door in the right side of the entry area. And the labor and the rental of 12-ton jacks, two 12-ton jacks, the concrete, paint and patching cement and fasteners comes to $2,133. And he would be able to do the work late summer.
What is he, did he say what he's doing? I mean, did he put on there he's going to be?
Oh, yes, yes.
Footings in?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, I'm sorry. It says it will need to add 2 4x4x8
Post and beam.
posts and beams under the sag area. We'll need to add 2 2x2x2 cement pads under each post, and each pad will be 4x4x2
To support each 4x4x8 beam.
beam. This will be done in crawl space.
Like 2-inch concrete pad?
No, 2 inch by, I'm sorry.
2 4x4x8.
How big of a concrete pad?
No, 4 inch by 4 inch by 8. Oh, to support the 4 inch by 4 inch by 8 foot beam.
The concrete pads are 2x2x2.
2 inches times 2 feet times 2 feet.
Oh, patio blocks.
I don't know.
These are the pads. We'll
Oh,
need
2
to
inches.
add 2
2
2
feet
inches by
by
2
2
feet by 2 feet. Cement pads under each post, and each post is 4 inches by 4 inches by 2 feet.
What kind of pads, Catherine?
Concrete.
Well, this says cement. Is that the same thing?
No,
Oh,
not even close.
That is a product that makes concrete.
That is an adhesive.
Why do you do that?
What?
I mean,
Well, just like we don't
You
spread,
get her every time.
we don't spread tar on the road.
No, we save that for the feathers.
my only thoughts are that if he's going to be putting these 4x4x8, you know, supports underneath there to hold it up, if he's setting it on a 2-inch thick, 2 foot by 2 foot cement or concrete block, which may not even be reinforced on a dirt ground, it's not, it's very temporary. You know, I would think, you work with this more, I've had old houses and had crawl spaces, but I think it needs something a lot
2
more.
inches concrete is nothing.
That won't support
It
floor.
won't support floor. Just my.
Needs to be 4 inches thick.
I would say 4 inches thick with rebar. Right, I don't know the stuff, but
Well, there's going to be 8 of them, 8 pads poured.
So he must be doubling it.
The problem is, it's difficult under a building like that to pour concrete pads. Why he wouldn't use precast concrete. I mean, he's only gonna have this much. So if the post is here, and he needs this much, then you get precast. Put it in there,
it's
double
reinforced.
something,
Is it
yeah.
the precast reinforced?
You get it with fiber in it, you know, you get it with wire. Rebar at that thickness, but this is a couple. Or even
Well,
2-inch granite.
Yeah.
That'd hold up.
I say we go ahead and do it, and then once that's done, we can at least try for a grant to replace the floor, because the floor is all cracked now because it just can't. And you have the refrigerator, a small refrigerator, and it's touching the floor on one side, and it's at least 2.5 inches before it becomes level. You have to prop it up. That's,
You know, and I'm all for getting it done, but if the blocks that he puts underneath the wood that holds that up aren't going to last long, frost heaves and, or not be reinforced, they're just gonna crack the first year. Just,
Who's doing this work?
Ron Belanger.
He's the father of the one that did the wall here.
Yes, he's very experienced. I'm thinking he probably has something other than mind than what we're thinking.
He actually crawled under there and looked at it.
yeah, you know, I mean, you've worked with him at Webnet.
We actually went underneath and looked and came back out and made the assessment, so I don't know anything about it, so I'm not a builder.
And I wonder if there's already existing down there.
There's-
What's holding the floor on the floor?
There's existing on the outside wall, and then there's a large space, and then towards the kitchen where the sink is, there's posts, and then where the wall is, between the hall and the kitchen, there's posts. But there's
Post to dirt or post to concrete or post to stone?
post to stone.
But it's the main
Right.
area of the kitchen that there's
It's the main
nothing.
area kitchen where there's nothing, and it sags down, and there really should be something there. And there was we never, when we first got there in 2009, when we first started working in 2010, nothing was done to the floor. It was the walls and the ceiling. They assisted up the ceiling, because the ceiling had a big droop in it as well, and they assisted up 2x10s. But we did nothing to the floor at all, so that was an existing condition way back when they built the place. So they probably never had anything underneath that area, just except the perimeter of the room itself. Now, they had the heater, they had the furnace in the kitchen at one time. We still have the furnace in the kitchen. It's closer to the stage area. So it's on that wall in the back of where the stage is.
Keith, I just want to make sure that what he uses is sufficient to belong to their.
Okay, well, I'll be glad to call them and ask them if that is,
Some description on those concrete couches.
well, he said cement pads.
Choice.
Do we need a motion on this? I make a motion, we accept the estimate for repairs to the Grange Hall building for 2133. Did you already mind?
2133.
Minus the other. This thing to the doors, it's the catch on the door, it's minor, it's like, it's a catch on the door, I can do it. So
Oh, just closet door,
yeah,
okay.
I mean, that's really nothing.
So do you want me to get
It should
them
come
to,
out of ours, yeah.
okay, and
It's not
the
in-
handrail's already been done,
The handrail's been done, but
okay,
town hall,
okay. And
so that's the motion.
did the insurance, I did that,
I'll
I did
second that.
that, I did that.
So we
You
have
guys did
a
that.
motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
That's all I had.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Unanimous.
He said late summer.
It's-
Is that? Okay, we're going to close the public hearing on the, pursuant to RSA 3195H. The payments, 2018 cruiser from the police special detail fund. And what the record showed was no public comment or attendees. We need to decide on who's going to sign the Franklin Savings Bank loan
Make a
agreements.
motion that the chairman of the board of selectmen sign the thing.
I'll second that.
Like I signed the loans.
Hot seat,
So we have a motion and a second for the chairman to sign the Franklin Savings Bank loan agreements for the 2018 police cruiser. All those in favor say aye.
Absolutely.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. The cruiser's taken care of for 2000. There was one thing, there was an email that went through, and Joyce, maybe you can help out with this. There was a fellow who asked if he could put a picnic table down at the Salmon Run. Now, One section is the selectmen, which they have jurisdiction over, and one is has a conservation easement on it. And that line is right about where the tree is.
Yes, but we have, since this whole process has gone through the Board of Selectmen, all these years, has allowed the Conservation Commission to really go on record. We have not done that. It was the first conception of the area that was formerly Ernie's, had picnic tables, had flagpoles, had this.
I'll be here tomorrow morning, so I'm calling you and leave a message. If you see questions, you should.
On that property, and then they're naturalized. So, I mean, we obviously have the right to change our minds, because you're right, we do have jurisdiction over it. But I just want to remind the board that we have historically sided with what the Conservation Commission's vision of this property would be.
And that's why I was bringing up for discussion, because ultimately, the selectmen decide on one point or another.
Was this an email from a resident?
Yeah, there was a
So
fellow
it
who,
was a gentleman came in and wanted to know about the picnic table in the Ernest area, same time. Obviously not the same area. He and his dog is different. So I told him that Tom has already met. One of Tom was a selectman, maybe tonight. Like, John and Chuck.
Okay,
Chuck
all
called me
right.
back today. and
Thought I
said-
missed the email.
Well,
It just went to John.
Just-
Okay.
And Chuck.
what's Chuck's comment?
No.
No picnic.
No.
And that has been there.
Because of the structures.
Oh,
I
is
said,
it?
okay, now I know. I still, I brought everything in, because I can't, unfortunately, we didn't get a phone number, and that one, whatever.
And my thoughts are the same, that it's a conservation area, and that these separate picnic tables and furniture and maintaining and all that. We do have nice areas on the island and at the park, and there's some rocks and things to sit on down there, but it's
Some of
just
them have
natural.
flowers.
Maybe in the future, we can rock.
I believe it's the intention of the Conservation Commission, once we're done with the state and the well, and that's behind us, to make it all one and have it all in conservation. Is that not it?
Yes.
That's the intention.
Is that the intention?
And at that time, they're all one, the table would have to be different. So that's, the only other thing I had is, the kayaking competition will be this weekend. And it's still going to be, in case you know, it's many things. So they'll be turning the water on, I believe Friday morning, and turning the water off on Sunday. So if anybody wants to enjoy the river, that would be a good time to do it.
What's the implications for Silver Lake, elevation-wise, with their flow? Are we looking for an inch rise, or are we looking for 6 inches?
I don't think it would be very much. I mean, the ocean goes up and down a couple feet.
Yes, but there was an
Yeah, no.
elevation that they agreed that they would not exceed for the opening of the
Elevation
an elevation, because if
Lake
they
level.
exceed that elevation, properties flood.
Okay, well, all this is being done through DES. It's the same thing as they did last year, and it's in coordination with the man at the Dam Bureau.
And we know how well they treat Silver Lake with the dams.
Oh, I know, whatever Governor's Island wants.
And,
Unfortunate, some Silver Lake.
so.
Wasn't that the ones that we went to the meetings with on the,
Yep.
So it should be fun,
damn deer,
enjoyable, and everybody, the damn man.
the damn
So
deer?
is the race one day?
It's Saturday and Sunday, I'm not sure.
So if you wanted to enjoy the full water with the tube, you'd have to do it Labor Day Sunday.
Well, no, they're very good about it, and I've kayaked through it. If you go to the railroad trestle and stop there, because they're doing timed runs through that section, so if you stop at the railroad trestle, the upriver one, and you wait there, they will give you the opportunity They were not timing anybody, so you can shoot through and they
Oh,
can
no
try the
kidding.
stuff. So they're very accommodating.
That's very
They're coming from all over the country, some from Ohio and that, but a lot of New England canoers, kayakers, it's quite the thing to see. They're going to be camping out on the Northfield side, and Northfield allows them to set up over there. So that's it for me. They are going through Franklin too.
Oh, they are?
Under Trestle, there'll be some racing and unofficial stuff through there.
Before I forget, reminder to the board, Monday night is the old Monday,
We want to make a public note that Monday night at 6 o'clock at the Pines Community Center, there is, they're going to be announcing the Citizens of the Year, and we'll be doing that, so. Old Home Day is, a week, the 30th, yeah, last Saturday of the month. And the theme, Flower Power, 60s and 70s.
And did we figure out exactly what we're gonna do for the vehicle? And do we have a driver? Okay, great, so we're gonna do the big truck.
And we got all the candy, and we
Oh, I
saved
saw
lots
that.
of money. We did, even with the discount? Even,
We got the same amount of bags,
oh,
same amount of bags,
okay, well,
but of course inflation, everything goes up.
So, Catherine, will you have your kids coming this year?
I'll have
The big truck.
3.
3? Okay. Peter, you gonna have any more? Ron?
Just me.
Just you?
if I can get back in time, I'll hunt you down and hop in if there's room.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. I'm just trying to think of how many bags?
Oh, what did we do last year?
13?
13 bags?
Yeah, because we had kids, we had
Oh, that's-
Ashley's
yeah.
kids.
Oh, 13 individual things
Yeah.
made
Like the
up.
bags we stuffed.
Yeah.
Right, because then John had his daughter in the front,
Oh, right.
and then Citizen of the Year. We have to make sure that Rhoda
10 or
gets
12?
Boston Post cane. Right,
At least 12.
right. So that's why we made up 13 and then we do it. I have 2 things here.
Do we communicate with their committee what we're adding to their parade? The Old Home Day committee.
What do we add?
Well, we've gone from truck and trailer to just truck to,
Same as the one we did last year was a truck.
yes, but I'm sorry, I didn't know, that's why I asked.
Yeah, we should
Did we
just
tell
tell
them
them.
last week we were doing?
Just tell them it's just gonna be the
Tell them
truck.
we were doing truck and trailer,
Right,
or,
I don't know.
Yeah, we decided on this.
but we didn't tell the Old Home Day truck and trailer.
Yeah,
No.
Status quo,
Answer to
same
my
thing.
question, who
I'll send Debbie an email.
So we have to somehow coordinate with the caretaker to get the Boston Post cane person there.
Apparently there's a mouse in your pocket.
Evidently.
Let me text the chief to make sure he coordinates that,
Okay.
because she'll go with him, okay?
Does she know about it?
Yeah,
Okay.
she's very excited about it,
Oh,
up until a month ago, so, I don't know. We'll make sure that that gets done. Okay. I have 2 things. We ought to start thinking about the Vicky Virgin annual food drive, so that we can at least look at something that's in September, like we always had it in September, which is warmer weather. Hopefully.
I need to change my topic.
Okay, that'd be nice,
Pop-up reminder.
so we're not freezing out there.
Do
And
you want to do it in September instead of October?
That's when
Okay.
when we usually did it. And then, at the end, I think it was Friday or Saturday, I got a call that there were people over at the island, and there were a lot of sleeping bags, empty pizza boxes, and it was very apparent that there were people sleeping over there, making a home behind the Chaco fireplace. So I called the chief, and the chief went right over there. I think it was Nate that went over there with him. I don't know what the end result was, but there was quite a few sleeping bags over there, so it was not just one person. Also, Titus went over there the other day, and there were several light bulbs that were burnt out, and he replaced them.
Should we put a sign up there?
What's that?
No
For,
overnight camping, no,
There is a sign,
there's a couple of them over there, actually.
no?
or the minute you get off the bridge. there's-
Yep.
So is
Whole
that
list
considered
of-
trespassing?
Oh, yeah, it's
A
vagrancy.
violable
It's,
offense?
yeah, they've been, but we don't know it because you're not over there, and people aren't really telling on anybody else unless you go over there and actually walk the perimeter, and then you can see it. I don't know, this was not campers, this was,
No, it's
Cameras.
oh, cameras, this was bags with clothing in it, and,
Patrol.
We asked them last year to take a walk over there once a year.
That.
yeah, we have to have regular patrols there, particularly at night.
In the
The
summer.
the evening crew, we really need to send an email to the chief, please, if the board is okay with that. Send an email to the chief so that he can send a blanket email to everyone that works in the evening from like 10 o'clock on, that they make at least a couple of trips foot walking onto the island to make sure that there's no people sleeping there.
Behind the barbecue.
Behind the barbecue, down and behind the lilacs in there, they're out, they're there all the time. They need to get out of there.
I'm afraid of the event, but I don't want to call the police when I find people sleeping over the park over I no longer call the police when I find people camping in Riverfront Park down in the far west corner.
Why? They don't do anything about it?
I'm already there, I tell them to leave, and I tell them it's not camping. So
Right.
far, they're all pretty nice. I mean, it's only been a handful in the past few years, but if they're not gonna patrol it anyway,
Mhm.
it's a waste of my time.
Well, if there's,
Tell them to go over to Surratt Park in Northfield.
Yeah, I've been done that.
No, I've seen people come up out of there in the early morning with carrying their sleeping bags.
Yeah. Yeah, I found when he had his sleeping bag on the, it wasn't a sleeping bag, it was a tattered blanket, headed for the bathroom. No camping at the park, you know.
You know, the worst thing is, we had it down at the Walmart piece on Ice House Island, is that they leave a lot of trash behind, and they defecate in the parks.
Yep.
That, and it's not, it's not good.
if they're homeless and it's an issue, then we need to take care of it and be resourceful about it. But if they're just doing it to just sleep over, then they need to find another place. The other issue that I got a couple of phone calls, and also I was stopped downtown a couple of times, that we now have the signs up in front of Riverfront Park that say drop off only for the handicap, but they continue to not drop off, but park there for the day, and I noticed it myself, they drop off people that are either handicapped or for lunch, handicapped or disabled, and they park their vehicle in that drop-off space for hours, and sometimes mostly all day. It's for hours, and there's nobody else, there's 2 vehicles at a time, and nobody else can go in, drop off, and then park down. And it's happened a lot this week. I've really noticed it now that people are starting to pay attention and ask and call and make calls on it. It's people are really bothered by it because they have handicapped people that would like to sit and have a lunch down there once in a while. And so if anybody's listening to this, please be respectful of others, drop people off, and then park down in our parking space down by the factory. And then you walk up and have a lovely afternoon at Riverfront Park, and then go back and pick them up. But don't leave your vehicle there.
A few weeks ago, we had 2 cruisers parked there while they had one.
Can you do no parking, drop off only, and then put yellow lines in it?
The sign is there.
The sign is
I mean,
there.
there's the credibility. If you have our own police officers parking their cruisers there while they have lunch, where's the credibility? And the police are not concerned about our parking issues at all.
They're the ones that told us that they couldn't do anything about the issue unless we had a sign that specifically said drop off only, so then they could enforce it. And you're telling me that there's policemen that do that and have lunch there. That's wrong.
15 and 20 minutes, it wasn't hours, but yes.
But still, it's the perspective that anyone could do that now.
Just saying.
Now I know why everyone's
And
doing
when
it.
I called, I'm told, and maybe so, that they are far too busy with more serious crimes than to deal with our parking issues. So I'm not sure where to go with that.
Wow.
I think we need to send some,
I think maybe we
Letters
need
up.
to have the chief in next week and have a talk with them about some of these issues.
do we
Why?
have a letter sent out to
Well,
the
they'll
chief
be in next week for
reflecting our,
thing anyway, so we can.
Tell them about it. Okay.
Well, when do the Explorers come on?
You know, school ends this week, but summer, when school is out, between school getting out and school beginning, is not the only time we have parking problems.
I know it's the
Explorers
summer.
aren't the answer.
There's a real, there's a decrease in the number of explorers that we have this year. So we have to take into that, in account for that. We can't depend on explorers to do a policeman's job, police officer's job.
it's kind of disappointing that we're depending on the selectmen to police the town for these things. We have signage, the temporary signs, I've been saying stuff for a month now, that are appearing all over town. There's a landscaping company that puts them out now. There's also, I've seen a couple more for contract jobs down in Concord. And they're all appearing all over town. And those are a violation of our policy, and they're still out there. And when our policy is that I have to fill out a form to get them to do it, or if we have parking areas designated handicap, the police won't enforce it unless we have to have a meeting with the chief to do it. We have issues in this town of people not doing their jobs.
I will
And I
say,
think we
when
need to, it's review time, and, you know, I just got voted in to sign a check for a police cruiser here. I'll call them up.
I will say that when I came across the person that was down at Ice House Pond in Every City, sleeping there, living there, I did call the sergeant because that was a whole different issue. Sergeant Morrison responded very quickly and did a very, very excellent job of explaining to this person about, getting excited, very confident that this was not an area that he can't do. And he was not good.
I can't believe no police cars have driven past the park
Well,
and noticed that a car there for
so
a
part
couple
of,
hours.
yeah, and part of me is hoping that they will drive down to Ice House Pond because they don't think the gate's put up there yet.
I noticed the gate was closed. It was closed gate now.
Did Brock put the gate, move the gate yet?
He didn't have the full details today when we asked him about it, so, he is aware of it now.
Yeah, that's on the list here.
I thought,
It looked like it was closed, but drove by the car parked halfway down.
The gate that's down there will not close the road. The gate, if you drove through the gate, you'd drive down into a swampy area. I, for life of me, don't know why the gate's where it is.
Yeah, you would've been move it.
Romantically had to have changed with the land.
Yeah, move gate at the Ice House Pond, put up signs.
And did we get a letter from, was there a letter addressed to me from, anyone?
From Sherwood?
No, I said if the letter, when the letter comes from Infinity Sherwood, all right, then I'll contact them again. Okay, that's the, because that's important, because that's written permission. Okay, that's
No, I'll do it. I'm gonna be here late tonight.
Anything else, anybody?
I just want to say, did I forward you the email I got from Al LaPlante saying that normally when he sees those signs, those metal signs in the public right-of-way, he takes those, but if they're on private property, he can't take them, because if the property owner has given them permission to put it on their property, they can put it on their
No,
property.
we have an ordinance against off-site signage. You're not allowed to advertise off-site, period. That's what our
Okay.
ordinance says. Am I correct?
I can read it to you.
And he should know that.
Okay.
But wasn't there some type of legislation
Yep.
that changed?
First
that?
Amendment rights.
That was on the policy things, and as long as people.
Oh, on- just on the
anybody could do
poli-
it, and they
okay.
had to remove them, that's when we said you have to remove them so many days after
Yeah.
an election.
Right, but you can't impinge, if I wanted to put a sign up at my property saying whatever, I like Rowell's, go to Rowell's. That's my right of free speech to say that.
But you can't,
Off-premise signs are not permitted. Roof signs are prohibited. No signs shall be erected or placed within a traffic median or right-of-way or public sidewalk.
Right.
All signs and sign structures shall be properly maintained so as not to become a public hazard or to become a detriment to the street environment.
Well, there's an awful lot of them out there
So,
now.
right
So
there.
those feather flags in the sidewalk on Main Street here?
Could you repeat the first thing? It says what?
Off-premise signs are not permitted.
So off-premise signs are not permitted. So if you don't own that piece of property, you can't put a sign up. So that,
It's not by the
you
owner.
could send that to Al and ask for the,
What's the number on that?
So on page 12, it is 2.3, but I just read, I think it's 2.9, I can take this one back.
Okay, that's enough to know.
Oh, you know what, it's not, it's on page 13. 2.3.2.
Okay, I'll send it to Al.
That's our zoning ordinance, signage. And John is correct, if there is, somebody's advertising, let's say on my property, on my front lawn, I have one of the repair cell phone signs. It's an illegal sign, so the property owner should be notified that they're displaying an illegal sign. And I don't believe that has anything to do with freedom of speech. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, I'll go back and read his email.
But I think most of the signs are in the public right of way. I know there's one keeping taken down right on the
Like
western
right here.
end of Riverfront Park, just before Black Swan. It is in the right of way.
I saw some that were on Market Basket property.
Yeah. There was some all along. in front
So
of
they're not
Holiday
allowed
Lane.
because they're advertising business
off-site advertising.
that's not on their own
About
property.
permit. Apply for a permit for each one of those signs.
They're not
On
allowed.
off premise, if
They can apply,
No.
well, try.
but they can't just put one up.
Should be
Okay.
issued.
Maybe they could
Yeah.
try and get a
Yep.
variance.
Okay.
I have one thing. I see on Facebook, we're doing the movies in the park, I don't know. Well, that's what I'm asking. I haven't heard anything, huh?
His Facebook?
I just saw the link, they're looking for some assistance, contact Elizabeth.
Yeah, well, didn't they come to the board and get permission to drive the scissor
No.
lift?
I asked that last week.
No, because the park commissioners
I
had
asked.
already met
Right.
Monday.
And Catherine was gonna get in touch with
Yeah.
somebody. That hadn't
I'm gonna
been
see Bob
confirmed.
tomorrow,
Right,
and I'm gonna put it to him, I'll see Bob tomorrow morning at 6:30.
yeah, so it hasn't been confirmed.
It hasn't been confirmed.
No, they need to get permission to do that.
Okay. And they're already advertising?
They're just trying to get
They're
help.
Just, no, last year it was June, July, August, so
They're trying to do July.
that's what I'm saying. I'm just getting details, that's all I had.
Is that it?
I have a question.
Better hurry, I was,
What to do about the wall down here and talking to DOT or DES about ownership.
I think Catherine should do that for expediency's sake. Call DOT, call the commissioner's
Well,
office.
she's on vacation, I think.
Oh, you're on vacation next week, too?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that.
You're back? Oh,
Okay.
she's saying that, Joyce is saying that we think that Catherine should do that for expediency. Get in touch with DOT.
And call,
I don't mind doing that. Do you
But
want?
go to the commissioner's office, call the commissioner's office and speak with the commissioner, or, speak to Bill, that Bill, not Bill Collins, the other Bill.
I will make some phone calls.
Right.
That will be nice.
Lambert?
And,
Watson? There's so many Bills. He's the deputy commissioner,
Oh, yes.
the deputy commissioner,
is that Cass?
Bill Cass. Very good.
Okay.
They're all,
you're
doing
Yeah.
a lot of former Pike names.
Yeah, Bill Cass, because he knows us and he'll talk with us.
Is that it?
No,
Catherine, you done?
One more?
No, I'm good. I'm texting Bob Hardy.
And
so you're gonna get into contact with them next week, Catherine, let us know?
do you have Bill's number? Or
I'll
email?
get it from you.
Okay. Email
Thank you for doing that.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Bill Cass.
Motion to adjourn?
And that we want the
We have a
documentation where
motion
it says
to
that,
adjourn?
having them research his right away.
Nice. I like that. Yes. Yeah, I.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
No move.
Yay! Oh my God.